So in this video, I've clipped a whole bunch of videos together showing me working on making a denim skirt out of my husband's old pair of pants. I had been wanting another option for all the concerts we've been going to and stuff, and a black denim skirt seemed necessary. So this video is just me kind of going through. I broke a seam ripper in this process and um, showing some dyeing, and I kind of putter out at the end as far as video taping, using my phone to record what I'm doing because the setup is just kind of a pain. I did a lot of the actual stitching of the skirt. I just tucked it into my bag and worked on it at on my lunch break at work. So you don't really see that part of it. I decided to be lazy and not get my sewing machines out and make sure they were working. Hand stitching is just as convenient for me. So this is kind of the beginning is all about chopping it off and tearing it up. And I try on the skirt over and over and over again. And you'll see a few photos of me doing that. I realized in this process I don't have a great setup for a full photo. I'm standing on the shower edge at one point. So this is another me ripping everything out. And then kind of lining up both the sides so they're flat. I didn't want the skirt to really flare much, if anything. And the baby pin that you see in that previous clip is where my marker for where my button, where I plan on moving my button. This is where I am actually tearing out the seams for the zipper. And I'm moving the whole zipper over. Oh, yeah, I think that's where I broke my seam ripper and had to move to some detail scissors. I just tear the whole thing out. And I know this seems like a lot of work for a skirt. It's really meditative for me to get out of my artwork and into just a fun project that's for me and nobody else. I guess other people get to see it, but it's not on view or being critiqued or anything. It's fun. And I left the tab back there too, just, I don't know, as a reminder. I didn't need to, but it's all finished off underneath anyway. Just lots of stitching and pinning and moving and stitching and pinning and moving on this piece. And I guess I'll talk about right now how I had forgotten how to dye black. I haven't dyed a lot over the past couple of years. And so this was actually a way for me to get back into it and do some testing and stuff, along with some yarn that I'm working with right now on a weaving. So, and I want to get black for that. So It was really good for me to kind of be able to play with the skirt because it says it's 100% cotton. There's still, at the very end, I finally get it black after having to boil water up to hot temperature. I prefer bucket dyeing, but I can't get the water hot enough for black. So there's a try on, and those aren't beer bottles. We're sober. In that try on, you could see that this back area was still kind of flaring out a little too much. So I'm kind of moving it over. And I also put a line on this one. This is where I'm deciding how short it's going to be. So I'm hand stitching kind of like the final stitch down. I really back up that bottom area before I cut it to the length I want. And I actually thought I was giving myself a little bit more as far as inches in case I wanted to hem it. I really like the raw edge, so I decided not to, and the skirt's absolutely perfect length. I would have had to leave it a little longer if I had wanted to hem it. So there I am cutting it. And then before I got too far into the hem, oh, there I am standing on my shower edge to get a good photo of the front and side. And you can see where I thought my hem was going to be. And here is it going into the bucket in my kitchen sink. I didn't realize how much dirty dishes and stuff were still in there. Just washing it first, making sure it's clean, and then you can see the water is steaming there. I get it pretty hot. And the skirt definitely got darker. And within this process, you can actually see how much more, how much darker these jeans actually were when I reveal like the hems, the seam ripping and stuff too. So and then I'm picking out buttons. I love sorting buttons, so I kind of go through. I've got my buttons sorted color-wise into jars. I still have a couple, I think 2 or 3 tins to go through between what I've collected and hand-me-downs from my grandmother and probably mother. Sorting things, just like hand stitching, is really meditative and relaxing for me. I love doing it. So when I'm not sure, I'm not inspired to really get going. And here you can see the skirt's darker here, but still not black. And I'm picking out buttons. And I make a final choice. I found an old one that's kind of distressed, and I really like it. It fits perfect. So I'm using a button thread and a button stitch. And shoring up those bottom seams so they don't pop out while I'm wearing it. And I really like those frayed edges, so. In the dyeing process, and then I did run it by itself through my washing machine on hot. some of the seams started to pull, so that showed me where my weak spots were. And a lot of it is just kind of basting at first also. Oh, this is where I woke up at like, oh no, not yet. I woke up super early one morning, and since the skirt wasn't as black as I thought I wanted it to be, I decided maybe I should do some black patches on it, which you'll see that decision soon. And I was unhappy with the patches. So because I wasn't sure if I'd like the patches when I was stitching the patch on, I actually stitched it on in a spiral embroidery floss. Just kind of did a spiral design, which is one of my MOs, I guess. There's that button. I love it. And here's the patch. And I really like this fabric. It's from Seams Fabric in East Lansing. It's got zippers on it. So I thought that was, you know, a little punk rock. And so I'm just kind of drawing and embroidering some spirals. But like, I needed to go kind of all or nothing as far as the patches. And I don't know, patching isn't as fun as embroidering. So not for me right now anyway. I've definitely patched jeans, but I involve embroidery at the same time. Or I guess I'm getting a little more into looking up sashiko. You can see on the right hand side on that seam, I've got a bunch of little crosses stitched. And that's a, you know, Japanese mending technique where you're stitching decoratively, but to also mend and repair, which is really cool. I don't have any formal training on that. I've just kind of looked it up and played with it. And actually, I'm thinking about next time I'm over at Seams, I have sashiko books, and I think one of them comes with some templates for that kind of practice. Because I really like how that turns out, even though I have a little bit of a difficulty being super repetitive. It looks really satisfying. I just noticed in this one I'm in my robe. Yeah, I woke up and couldn't sleep. This is the 4 a.m. decision. I think I eventually went back to bed, took a nap. And this is all within the period of, I think, about a week, week and a half. I just wanted to get this finished for the concert we were going to. We went and saw Anti-Flag and Flogging Molly, and it was an awesome show. And then I ripped all the fabric out and left the spirals, which I like how that turned out too. Here's some more sashiko. I think I'm saying that right. And there's a dirty bathroom mirror photo. And then the other night I wore this skirt out. I didn't realize I had so much thread hanging, but